Good morning, science class. Welcome back to science. I'm excited because today we're going to be doing our very first main science lesson. So usually they're up to this point. I've been trying to get you guys to do some fun interactions online, but now we're going to finally get into some real science. So I'm excited. So happy Tuesday, the 7th. Tomorrow we'll be doing a YouTube live event where I'll get into some other stuff like some of the other options you have for today. If you don't want to do this biology lesson, you can go on the district website and look up some of the choice boards activities, or you can be doing my at-home science experiments that I'm posting. And there'll be a link for that, and we'll go over that tomorrow on the YouTube live. Wednesday at 11. All right, so let's get into our first big science topic. The first big science topic, the overall theme for the rest of this quarter was going to be biology. The first topic we're going to cover with biology is reproduction. Now, reproduction seems like a very nervous topic for some of you. So I know some people don't like to discuss this stuff, but I'll make it as awkward as I can, as I always make everything, and as scientific as we can. I do want to highlight that we will not be discussing human reproduction. We will talk about animal reproduction and plant reproduction and other types of reproduction, but we are not going to be talking about human reproduction. So human growth and development, I believe, is going to be suspended for the school year. We'll stay tuned on that, but I would plan on not hearing any talk of human reproduction. So I'd like to talk about reproduction. Start this thing off with this.
How do you know they're all female? Does somebody go out in the park and pull up the dinosaurs' skirts?
We control their chromosomes. It's really not that difficult. All vertebrate embryos are inherently female anyway. They just require an extra hormone given at the right developmental stage to make them male. But we simply deny them that.
Deny them that?
John, the kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, oh, there it is. There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Life finds a way. Well put, Jurassic Park. Life does find a way. So this is through something called reproduction. Reproduce, it literally means to make copies. So, for example, there are some viruses out there that are really good at making copies of themselves. They make all these copies inside of living things like, I don't know, a human body, and the human ends up with these weird reactions where it the human has its nose run, or sneezes a lot, or coughs a lot, and ends up spreading the copies of this virus to another human. Does this sound familiar? Yes, COVID-19. It's all about reproduction. Seriously. So, things are really good at making copies of themselves. Otherwise, they don't exist. Have you ever heard of something going extinct? Well, it was not able to continue to make copies of itself for whatever reason. So, the reason that things exist, including us humans, are because things are able to make copies. All right, so reproduction, it literally does mean reproduce to make a copy. So if you go to a printer, you've got this picture that you really like, and you start printing it off on a picture, you're making lots of copies of it. You're making reproductions of the image. So reproduce, to make more of. You're just making copies. That's what we're looking into here. So your very first science biology lesson is going to be called an observation walk. So this is on STEM Scopes. STEMscopes Lesson 1, they call it the hook. You are welcome to log into the portal, go to STEMscopes, and answer the questions on there. If you don't have access to it, that's fine. I'm about to ask you the question in real life. So you can post a Flipgrid video of you answering these questions. You can post a comment or an image on Google Classroom, whatever. Yeah, however's most convenient to you to answer these questions. So, first thing is an observation walk. I'm going to take you on a walk around my house. We're going to go look outside and see if we can spot some types of reproduction. So the question is this: can you observe any characteristics of plants and animals around your neighborhood that might relate to reproduction? Look for characteristics of plants and animals around your neighborhood that relate to reproduction. So, let's go for a walk. Now, you know I'm all about transparency and honesty, so I was going to tell you that I've never done this before, but that would be a lie, because I just did it a minute ago and found out that my camera wasn't actually recording. So this is actually my second attempt at this. Alright, so we're going to walk out to my backyard here, and I'm going to show you we're going to look for some versions of reproduction for plants and animals, not counting humans, of course. Alright, so I definitely see some birds flying around me. Nothing necessarily highlighting that there is reproduction going on. I think I see in that tree over there a nest. There's a nest right there, I think. That hints at reproduction. I've got these things down here on the ground here. So if you take a look at those yellow things there, I think that's pretty obvious. Everybody's seen dandelions before, and you'll see these little bugs fly in and out of them. These little gnats. I don't know if you can see them on the camera. And we all know that these things eventually grow up into being these little puff balls, and you blow on them, and the little things fly everywhere. I have a feeling that has to do with reproduction. There's also these little purple flowers here, little blue flowers. The neighbor has got a whole bunch of these purple flowers. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a bunch of purple flowers in the neighbor's yard there. Those purple flowers, I have a feeling, have to do with reproduction. Walking over to this old tree I've got growing in the backyard. You notice these little things growing on it. Now, I want to highlight here that it's okay to be wrong on this. If you come out and you find these things and you're like, oh look, reproduction, and it turns out they're just leaves, that's okay, because we're going to talk about what the different parts of a plant are, and like what does it mean, like what's the function of these different parts of plants. So these could be leaves, but I don't think they are. In fact, if you look real close at these right here, I think you can kind of see, oh, hi squirrel. Squirrel's not reproducing, it's eating. Alright, so if you look at these things, I don't know how well you can see it on here, but there are little whirligigs, these little like helicopter things that grow up to then helicopter down onto the ground. So why would the tree do that? Why would the tree make little seed things that spin away and fly somewhere else? I think you already know the answer. Alright, nests. I'm not seeing any nests in this tree. It's an old dying tree. It's not too healthy. I don't know how well you can see this because of the sun, but if you look in my front yard, you might be able to see there's some nests up in this tree. I don't know how well you can see them or not, but there are definitely some nests up there, and those are birds and squirrels that are working on reproduction. So there's just a few versions of reproduction that I found walking around my house. Sorry about the noise. I got road construction going on. It's about time. This is an old neighborhood. Alright, enough of that. I'll let my dog inside here. Hopefully she doesn't start barking. Alright, and let me plug the computer back in. So, that is your very first science lesson. Go outside, walk around your neighborhood, get a little sunshine, a little exercise. It's going to be a beautiful day today. And find some, I like my new pointing habit. Have you noticed that? I've got a new pointing habit. I like pointing at the webcam. So go outside, find yourself some characteristic of reproduction in plants and animals. Now that's part 1 of your first lab. So part 2 is going to be looking for parts of a plant inside of your house. So believe it or not, I bet almost all of you have a plant or a part of a plant inside of your house. More specifically, what I'm talking about are fruits and vegetables. So here is your next assignment. I want you to walk around your house and try to find a picture that you can post. You can throw it up on Google Classroom, you can use Flipgrid, but I want you to try and get a picture of a fruit or vegetable inside of your house. Now, some of you, I get it, you're not as healthy of an eater as I am. That's a joke, by the way, anybody who knows how much fast food I eat. But I do like to keep some apples around because these are good. So I have an apple. Here's my example of some fruit in my house, but maybe you don't have that. Well, you can start thinking outside the box. You can find something that's not fresh fruit or fresh vegetables, like this. You can find, there's a picture here of some pineapple. So this counts as well. You could have a can of a fruit or vegetable, take a picture of that, post that on there. That is a part of a plant. We're going to talk more about this. In fact, you might be asking yourself, like, why are we talking about these parts of a plant? Yeah, we get it. Fruits, vegetables. What does that have to do with biology, reproduction? Don't worry, we'll get there. Now, maybe you are not a healthy eater at all. You don't have any canned vegetables or fruits. Start looking around for pictures of it. It could be in a children's book. It could be on a recipe book. It could be a children's toy like this right here. So this is my little 1.5-year-old daughter's toy. And it's got a little button hidden right here. Listen carefully. I don't know if you could hear that at all. It makes a little belch. So cute. Anyway, so this little double cheeseburger here definitely has some fruits or vegetables on it. It's got this green lettuce here. It's got the, I assume those are little red tomatoes, perhaps, on there. So that counts. Take a picture of a fruit or vegetable in your house. So that's part 2 of this assignment. Part 1, go outside, look for some observations. Part 2, walk around your house, look for a fruit or vegetable. And part 3, the last part of this, is actually posted on Google Classroom right now, and it is called the Tomato Survey. I have a question for you. I want you to answer it without Googling the answer. There goes my finger again. So, I know you're going to be tempted to Google this. I know that a couple of you out there are rebels, and you're going to Google it, even though I'm telling you not to. You'll spoil the fun, but that's okay. But you should try as hard as you can not to look this up. I just want you to answer the very simple question that everybody's heard before. Most people have heard before. Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? And I'm going to give you 4 options here. So when you go to answer the question, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? It could be a fruit. A tomato could be a vegetable. It could be both. Or it could be neither. So you tell me, go fill that thing out, and then tomorrow during our YouTube live event, we'll discuss whether or not a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable. All right. If you got questions, send them to me on Google Classroom or through an email. And I hope to see you guys all tomorrow on our YouTube live event. keep in touch.